Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled Karens. In today's episode, finally had a nasty Karen waste my time. Congratulations! You've played yourself. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Finally had a nasty Karen waste my time. Since I am deaf, I rarely have to deal with annoying Karen because I rely on American Sign Language as anti-Karen trick, but today one went out of her way to get police involved. To start, I borrowed my dad's minivan. He has a handicap plate, but since I don't have a handicap, deaf doesn't qualify for handicap parking, I park in normal spots instead. My dad was not with me today, so there's another reason not to park there. When I stopped at a Walmart store for a quick shopping, I found an empty spot next to handicap spot very close to the doors. I had just gotten out when a Karen stopped behind my minivan and started yelling at me. I couldn't understand what she was saying and used my anti-Karen trick, ASL. I signed "I can't understand you," but she kept yelling at me and pointing at the van. I ignored her and went into the store. I came out about 15 minutes later to see her still blocking my minivan and a police car coming in. Thankfully for Officer Smiley, not real name, he seemed to be smiling a lot even with shitty Karen and 90-foot F heat. He can use his lips well, so I was able to understand him without needing ASL or deaf interpreter. It's when I found out, she called because I illegally parked in a non-handicapped spot. I'm like, the fuck? I explained the minivan belonged to my dad who does use handicap spot, but since he was not with me and I do not need handicap spot, technically I am not supposed to use handicap spot and parked in a normal spot. Karen's reasoning was I had to use handicap spot because of handicap plate, and it was illegal for car with handicapped plate to park in non-handicap spot. Officer Smiley thought she was just mad because I had a great non-handicap spot in otherwise crowded parking lot and she didn't want to walk halfway across the lot in this heat. She was hoping I'd move like she demanded, and her mind broke because I didn't move. I was free to go, and I saw Officer Smiley hand her a ticket, I guess for misuse of 911 service. I still had to wait for her to move her car so I could go home and type this up. If you're the woman with dark-colored pixie-cut hair driving a silver Camry who called police on a deaf person in Walmart parking lot today. Wow, as someone who has had a handicap placard, this is a whole new level of WTF LOL. I'm glad the cop gave her a citation for wasting everyone's time. Yes, this is exactly why I have a placard instead of a plate, so that I can choose to use it if I want to and also use it in different cars that I may be traveling in. I am so thrilled Officer Smiley gave Karen a ticket. LOL. I have a disabled placard. The fuck am I supposed to do when all the handicapped spots are full? Go home? You hang your head sadly and quietly say maybe next time and then exit the parking lot. So, this Karen has gone her entire adult life, believing that only about 10 disabled people, assuming no passengers, are ever allowed to shop in any one store or even an entire strip mall/regular mall? Is that, it's not just a Karen, that is a seriously negative IQ. This is so insane, it has to be true. No one would make a story like this up. Seriously though, my mom is deaf and the way some people treat deaf people is atrocious. They get inordinately mad because a person not looking at them doesn't hear them screaming at them. It is fun to turn around and tell Ken/Karen that my mom can't hear them, she's deaf, and watch them turn beet red and suddenly they aren't interested in getting past her, but instead are trying to go anywhere out of sight. Karens and ableism go hand in hand. Most of them would be fascist if the word wasn't so, rightfully, stigmatized. That's the most Karen thing I've ever heard. Mad props for not taking advantage of the handicap spot when you didn't need it. Wish there was more people like you in the world. I once drove my dad from the doctor, and we stopped to get his prescription on the way home. I was driving his land yacht and pulled into a space out in the lot. He got irritated and told me to park in the handicap spot because he had the placard. I told him I wasn't handicapped and he was staying in the car, so why would I do that? His answer was that the space is wider so people don't hit the car with their doors. Karumbu. I'm on the younger side with an invisible disability. I'm so tired of older drivers policing my use of my legit placard. Mind your business. It's ridiculous. Even my mom deals with it having an invisible disability. I don't understand why people feel the need to be the handicap police. Congratulations. You've played yourself. It's Thursday. I got wrapped up in playing Diablo and forgot to take a nap before work. I'm on an egg fast, 6 eggs with 6 tablespoons of butter and an ounce of cheese twice a day, so I can't buy a bit of ice cream to power through the night. And the hotel is filled with a bunch of kids who were apparently given coffee or something, because they won't go the hell to sleep. So my night hasn't been great. How about you? But this tale isn't about tonight. Not my part in it, anyway. The fallout happened today though. But for now, a musical interlude. There are those who think that life has nothing left to chance. With a host of horrors to direct our aimless dance. Our cast includes me, booking agent, B, co-workers, CW1/2, and the star of our little tale, Karen, mistress of the self-frag, K. Last night was fairly slow. I'm working on figuring out what my PC in our tabletop campaign is gonna do next session. She failed really hard in some combats due to bad dice after a kid she's kinda looking out for asked for her to teach him to fight better, so that's gonna be a morose conversation later. And then I get a call and give my standard hotel greeting. "K, hi, yeah. So I have a reservation under Karen McCustomer for arriving tonight, but due to some issues, I won't be making it in tonight. I still need the room for Thursday night though. Any way I can cancel the first night but keep the second?" Me, let me take a look at that for you. I load up her reservation and, I have to give her some bad news. Me, unfortunately, it looks like you checked in via the mobile app. Due to that, I can no longer remove the first night of the stay for you. However, your second night is definitely held for you. K, there's nothing you can do? I'm a tier 1 shiny, lowest level above basic member. Me, unfortunately not, sorry. K, well, that sucks. Okay then. Thanks for trying. If it had ended there, I wouldn't be telling this tale. And she definitely wouldn't have been given the moniker of Karen. So anyone reading this probably isn't terribly surprised with what comes next. About 20 minutes later, the phone rings again. I give the standard hotel greeting. BA, hello, yes, I'm calling from about a reservation for Ms. Karen McCustomer. Me, internally, of course you are. Me, okay, what can I do for you regarding that reservation? BA, so, Karen has had an issue and is unable to make her first night. Is there any way to cancel the first night but keep the second one? Me, as I told her when she called me a bit ago, since she checked in online through the mobile app, I can't cancel her first night. I mean, I could have. But it would have both required me to violate hotel policy and engage in extra work. I might do one or the other when I truly feel it warranted, but not at the same time. BA, oh. That makes sense. I'll let her know. Just to confirm, she will have her reservation for the second night, right? We can't risk her having her reservation no-showed and her losing the second night. Me, that's not an issue at all. She's good to go for her second night. BA, that's the important part. Thanks for your help. Me, thank you for calling. Have a good night. BA, you as well. Again, if it had ended there, this wouldn't have been a story worth posting. Guest is told no, tries to get travel agent to talk me into saying yes. Very common tale. However, this is where my involvement in the story ends. The following interactions have been dramatized based on being recounted to me by CW2. A planet of playthings. We dance on the strings of powers we cannot perceive. The stars aren't aligned, or the gods are malign. Blame is better to give than receive. It is daytime, late afternoon. The birds are singing. The machinery of a road crew working just down the street is singing the song of its people. The giant ball of fire is up in the sky doing things. Just remember, kids, when has a giant ball of fire ever been good? I rest my case. Anyway, the phone rings. It's busy, so our FOM, CW, gives the standard hotel greeting as he's helping out with the desk. K, hi, so I had an issue with my flight, and I only needed one night of my stay. CW, oh, I can fix that for you. What's the name on the reservation? K, finally, someone who can help. Karen McCustomer. CW, okay, I fixed that reservation for you. K, that sounded really easy. I wonder why the guy last night wouldn't fix it. CW, don't know. But you're good now. K, thank you. If you've been paying attention, I'm sure you see what has happened. But CW was unwitting. And Karen thought she'd gotten what she wanted. Meanwhile, CW sends up someone to make sure the room is clean since he just processed a really late checkout. There are those who think that they were dealt a losing hand. The cards were stacked against them. They weren't born in Lotus Land. A couple hours later, the giant ball of fire is dipping down along the horizon. I'm at home, wondering to myself why the hell I'm playing the second lowest DPS spec in the game. And why some people keep dying to avoidable mechanics. Oh well, I'm not leading this circus. I just get to be one of the clowns. Karen arrives, expecting to check into her room, which has been sold. In fact, it was snapped up within moments, as CW checked the reservation screen after he hung up and we were booked solid again. K, what do you mean I don't have a reservation? CW2, it looks like you were checked out a couple hours ago. K, no. I called to cancel the first night, not tonight. CW2, that wouldn't have been possible, as it was already checked in, looks like through the mobile app. K, that's what the guy said last night. But the guy I spoke to a couple hours ago said he could. CW2, he said he could cancel the first night but keep the second night? K, realization dawning, he should have known that's what I wanted. It devolved from there. Karen's gonna Karen. But this Karen got to go Karen somewhere else. All because she chose a path that was clear. She chose free will. Next time, maybe she'll listen to the ready guide in the celestial voice of the auditor. Who am I kidding? We all know she didn't learn a thing here. I just hope you all have learned to distrust the giant ball of fire. Some Karens are born, and some are made. Bad start to her trip ended up worse with miscommunication. I'm surprised she didn't have a full meltdown. I've been there. Luckily for me, my frustration manifests as tears, not anger, and I was able to snatch a room from some other misfortune soul. Actually, she did lose her shit. CW2 just didn't recount that part well because I guess Karen made her cry and thus the details at that point got a little fuzzy. So I didn't attempt to describe it all. CW sat her down in the office and had the restaurant staff get her a cookie to calm her down. CW2, I mean, not Karen. So leading up to night 1, she calls you and tries to cancel night 1 and you say this isn't possible. Then later on the same day, she calls and gets another worker who cancels her night 2. Then when she shows up on night 2, she finds it's been sold? Sounds more like Karen called on day 2 trying to get the charges from day 1 removed after the fact, and an early checkout got processed instead. It seems to me like you rushed to judgment. There may have been 2,112 reasons she was late. OP couldn't see the wood for the trees, which came on the radio as I was reading their post, and I am now singing along to. 'Tis true the giant fiery death ball is not to be trusted or stood under if avoidable. Unfortunately, the rest of the inhabitants of this fair ball of rock disagree with vampire rules, and I am forced once a week to risk the ire of it. And yes, Karen's gonna Karen, and the GFDB is gonna come back again for us all. One day I shall tell the tale of Caroline and eviction that didn't have to be. Of course she learned nothing, they never do. The music interludes almost had me waking up my house though, lol. I'm more curious about the egg fast, but I think my cholesterol went up just reading it. Your body makes cholesterol, it doesn't just grab what's in the eggs. It breaks down what's in the eggs and then uses that to build and fuel whatever. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.